All right, so we've already done law of sines, but we've actually only done 2 cases of law of sines. We did, the first example was angle, angle, side, 2 angles, a side that's not between them. And then the second case that we did was angle, side, angle, 2 angles, the side is in between them. So both cases that we had done the first day were 2 angles and 1 side. Our case today is 2 sides and 1 angle, or 1 angle and 2 sides. So the first 2 cases we did were 2 angles. Now we only have 1 angle. Okay? When you have this case, it's kind of a pain in the behind because you got to do some extra work. Okay? Because it's a pain in the behind. Okay. That's how I know that this is the one where I have to do extra stuff because I'm going to have an angle in 2 sides. Okay? You getting my joke? Yeah.
I got it.
Yes, the saw. Well, you remember in geometry, your teacher probably said, if you get ASS, you can't use that one.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because when you have 1 angle and 2 sides, it doesn't determine the exact same triangle every single time. And I will show you where it can be different. It could determine no triangle. It could determine 1 triangle, or it could determine 2 different triangles. So that's why you couldn't use it back in geometry when you were trying to prove that 2 triangles were congruent. So angle, side, side, not enough information for that. So you were telling geometry, you can't use it. But now we are going to use it because we're not doing congruent triangles. We're just finding information about 1 triangle. But this case is kind of a pain in the behind because there's some extra stuff. In order to figure out which case we have out of these 6 different cases, and yes, I will give you this chart on a quiz or a test. To figure out which case we have, we're going to be finding the height of the triangle, which is not pictured in, well, it is pictured in all these things. Not every single one. The height is not going to be given to you. You're going to have to determine it. So here's the formula for height. And when we first used our height formula to find the law of sines, that's where you've seen this before. Now we're going to use it to figure out all the information. Well, to figure out which case we have. You'll see the first 4 cases. We have the 1 angle that is given to us is acute. In the last 2 cases, is if the 1 angle is given to us is obtuse. Now I'm saying it weird. I'm not saying angle. Scammers. I'm not saying angle A. I'm saying the 1 angle given to us. And the reason why is you're not always going to be given a triangle that has angle A, B, and C. You might be given a triangle with angle X, Y, and Z. And you can't. We're not going to have a chart for every single letter of the alphabet. That's just silly. So angle A is the 1 angle that they gave you. And then lowercase a would be the side that is opposite the 1 angle they gave you. How can I remember that angle A and lowercase a are the ones that are opposite each other without seeing the picture? How do I know that angle A and lowercase a, or capital Z and lowercase z, how do I know those are across from each other? They're the same letter. Okay. Then the side B would just be the other side that they gave you. Now this first example, they used the A, the B, and the C, but like I said, they're not always going to use A, B, and C, so you've got to understand that part. It's also not going to tell you that there is one solution. You're going to have to figure that out. Yeah, you can take off your jacket, or we can crack a window if you guys would like. Because it is warm on Earth. Anybody? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to first find the height. Well, actually, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to read the information. You're going to say, this is the side, this is the side, this is an angle. Oh, we have that case. And then we're also going to say, these two have the same letter, so those are the ones that are opposite each other. So I know when I draw my triangle, I'm going to put 42 over here, and I'm going to put 22 inches opposite it. And then the other side is just going to be beside the angle that they gave us.
Do you want to sit down for the whole numbers?
Whatever it says.
No, for the height. It didn't say that.
You don't have to, I mean, you don't have to put the answer. Like, you just need to probably put the other stuff, right?
It's like coming out with 6.5 right between two different ones. So.
Well, then you should use the rest. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Okay, so we have our triangle set up. We know that it's ASS, so we know we're going to do this extra stuff. So the next thing you want to do is find H. So H is the formula given at the top, B sine A. B is the side that is next to the angle that was given to us. It's the one that's beside angle A. So it's not always going to be called B. It's going to be the one that's beside it. Get it? Okay. Calculator, H is, what? 12 sine 42 degrees. Calculate it. This is what she was just asking me. What do we need to round to for our H value? So for rounding for the H value, I'm not going to just ask you, find the H value, and that's like the only thing you can find. I mean, it's sound that I would tell you was round to, but for the H value, you just need enough decimal places to be able to compare numbers. Because we need to compare the value of H to the value of the side A and the value of the side B. Just need enough decimals to be able to compare. So up here, we're going to go through this chart. Is angle A acute or obtuse? It's acute, so we use one of the first four. So we don't have to look at those last two. Next thing you do is we need to look at the necessary condition. We need to look at how A and B and H compare to each other. So we're going to look at that right now. Look here and I'm going to say, well, A is less than B. I mean greater. I said the wrong thing. Sorry. A is greater than B because 22 is greater than 12. And H is 8. So A is less than H. So we go up and we look at our chart. In which situation do we have? A is greater than B. So A is greater than B. I know it can't be this one. A is greater than B. Could be that one. Is A equal to H? No, it can't be that one. Is A less than H? No, it's greater. So then that leaves us with just this. There's one triangle. So this is why it's a pain in the behind, is you go through and just make sure you know which one you're doing. So they've already told us here the reason why there's only one solution is because A is greater than B, and then we found H and made sure that A is also, how did I write it this time? Didn't I say greater than? A is also greater than H. Right? So now we know that there's one triangle. You can just solve for that, all the missing pieces of the one triangle. So we're going to use law of sines. We'll do sine of the angle 42 degrees over the side across from it 22 inches. That's going to equal, now we have to use something that we know one part of to find the missing piece. So we're going to do sine of what angle? B over side B is 12 inches. When we cross multiply that, and I'm going to get 22 sine B
equals 12 sine 42 inches. And then you can't divide by 22 sine. The sine is attached to the b. So these are two pieces here. You have to divide by 22. Then you get sine b equals that. So how do you get rid of sine? So you just get the angle b. The inverse, right? So that will be our next step. We're going to do sine inverse to both sides. And on your calculator, go ahead and type in the inverse of 12 sine 42 degrees divided by 22. And everybody do that on your calculator because I'm going to teach you something new about your calculator if you didn't know it already. So you should get the measure of angle B is 21.406 degrees. Right? Now we might, especially when we do the harder ones, need this value later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to store this value in my calculator. And in my calculator I'm going to store it as B because it's angle B, so that I thought I could remember it better. To store numbers, you go all the way down, right above the on sign, and there's this STO and then arrow. So we're going to store that. You hit the button once, and it'll just take that last answer and put a little arrow. It means that we're going to store that answer, and you're going to do alpha B. Enter. Now it has stored 21.40, that entire number as alpha as B. So if you're not sure if it works, you could say 100 plus alpha B, and it will take whatever B is and add 100 onto it and give you the answer. I don't need that for the question, I'm just showing you that it did store it. Does anybody have any trouble with that and you're not sure if you stored it correctly? I can come to your calculator and assist you. Okay, if you have older calculators, the people with the older calculators can't like arrow up and grab stuff and bring it down like the people with the newer calculators can. So this would be really good for those of you with older calculators to recall stuff from before. Also, if you don't like arrowing up until you can find that other answer, this is good because then you just store it as B and just call it up anytime you get it. So I'm going to leave that there just for a second. I'm going to write down my angle B. This is at 406. So now we have angle B. What can we find next? Angle C? So to find the measure of angle C, we're going to take 180 degrees, we're going to subtract off 42 degrees, and we're going to subtract off whatever we got for B. So try on your calculator right now. You stored it. Try on your calculator doing 180 minus 42 minus alpha B. Make sure that it works. You should get 116 point something. That's C. Five, 9, 4. And then what else do we need to do? Okay. Side C. So to find the side, we'll go back and use law of sines. We'll do sine of angle A over side A equals sine. Ooh, let's do this. Let's store C. Let's go store alpha C. I'll show you why in a second. Store alpha C. Now I'm going to record, 12 months, I'm going to put sine of c divided by little c, and I just don't want to retype in 116.594, so I'm just writing c each time. But I will be using it on the calculator. So then we're going to cross multiply, we're going to solve that. You're going to get little c is going to be 22 sine angle c divided by sine 42 degrees. So on my calculator, since I stored angle c as c, I'm going to type in it. I'm going to type in 22 sine alpha c divided by sine 42. And we get 29.4. Yeah, that's fine. So, you just put it up there. And then I believe that's inches. We're going to inches. All right, question? Next example is going to be the no solution. So let's figure out why. So we first look at it and we go, all right, we're given a side, and we're given an angle. That spells something. It spells side. Yep, you got it. So we've got angle A and little a are going to be the opposite angle and side. So I know that's going to be the one that we use as the A. Even though it's called A, it's not always called A. So we want to kind of think through that. Angle A is 85 degrees. Side A is 15. Side B is B side 85. 25. And we're going to find the H value. H is B sine A. So we'll do 25 sine 85 degrees. And you'll get 24.905. So that's our H value. So you start comparing values. My A value is less than B. My A value is less than H. You could look at your chart that's up the top of the paper. You could also just think about this for a second here. If my height is 25 almost, I'll just call it 25, okay? And my A value is 15, this should equal a right triangle. What's wrong with this right triangle? What? Well, the hypotenuse has to be the longest side. So this is actually a triangle that looks like that. Like that side's not long enough. So this is no triangle at all. Now you don't have to envision it. You can also just look up here at the chart and you see if A is less than H, then it's no triangle. So you just write no triangle, move on to the next one. Okay, then we look at the next one, we say, all right, we're given a side, and we're given an angle. Spells saw. So we know it's going to be a pain in the behind. We're going to have to use that chart. We're going to have to find H. So we'll have, so we need to know which is B and which is A. I know angle A is the only angle I'm given. But this might not be called B. So B would be the side that's not opposite the angle given. B would be that other side, so 31. I'm doing that without a picture. It's not always called B. I'm reiterating that because that's last year what people didn't understand. We didn't. But I guess I last year assumed that you get it and I didn't explain it as much as I just did right now. Okay. So we type that in and you got, what'd you get? 10.856, almost 10.9. So then you start looking at that chart and you find out that A is less than B, but A is also greater than H. So we have our 10.856 here, we've got our 12, and we've got our 31. So from our chart, what does that tell us? Well, yeah, it also says in the directions. This is going to be 2 triangles, right? So as soon as you know it's 2 triangles, you do this, and we're going to do this. We're going to draw, we're going to divide it into 2 triangles. We're going to do all the work side by side. We're going to stay organized because a lot of the work is the same. If you stay organized, you do it side by side, it'll be easier. Okay, so the first triangle, we have 20.5 degrees for angle A. Across from that is 12. The side beside it is, what is it? 31. So that makes angle B over here, that makes angle C at the top. Now I'll show you how we get the next one. So over here, I'm going to keep angle A still 20.5. I'm going to keep side little b still 31. I'm going to still keep side little a 12. We'll draw it slightly differently. We've got our 31. Now I have done those up to show you actually going between those, how you can like see how these are the same triangle. If you can't envision what's happening here. So here, I have this all the way out here. I have a big triangle. I've got right here my angle. That stays the same for both. I've got right here my side that was 31. That stays the same for both. And then over here, my side that's 12. And I could take this side that's 12 and I could swing it. And right now I have no triangle, no triangle, no triangle, no triangle. Because if I go dot, dot, and this goes all the way down there, it's not going to be a triangle. I mean, no triangle, no triangle, no triangle, until here, where it forms a separate triangle. So this is 2 possibilities. Either that angle B is all the way out here, either angle B is acute, or angle B is obtuse. And does that look like an isosceles triangle? So I'm just going to throw out a number. Right now, let's pretend angle B is 60 degrees. What's this side? What's that side of angle B now? If it's isosceles. If it's 60 degrees here, then what's it over here? So what's this angle over here? 120. So these are complementary. They add up to be 180. That's how you're going to find the other triangle. But I'll work through it. So we'll start with case number 1. And we're start with our first case where B is acute. Oh, so cute. And we're going to solve for B. We will set up sine 20.5 over 12 equals sine angle B over 31. Cross multiply. I'm doing it a little bit fast. So you're going to cross multiply. You're going to get that the sine of B is equal to 31 sine 20.5 divided by 12. So that's how you solve for sine B. But then we need to get rid of sine, so we just get B. So you do sine inverse. And you guys type that in your calculator. Okay, so I got it in my calculator, now I'm going to store it as B because we're going to need it later when we do the second case. So I'm going to store it so I don't have to go all the way back up and forth. So I'm going to store it as B. Oops, restore button. Store it as B. And I got it stored as B. Now I need to find angle C. So we're going to do 180, take away 20.5, take away alpha B. 94.717 is angle C. So I've got measure of angle C. And I'm just, you don't need to do this, but I'm putting like a little 1. So we know that this is the first one. This is the first C. And then the last thing that we have to find, let me store that. I'm going to store that as C. You don't have to, but I'm going to. And the last thing we have to find is side C, so we're going to do log sine. We'll do sine of 20.5 over 12 equals sine of big C over little c. So we're going to cross multiply that, and we'll get 12 sine capital C over sine 20.5 degrees should give us our little c. $34.149. I'll put up my calculator again. You can see I had stored it as C, so I just needed to like type in C instead of trying to go look at. But you can also use your still get your number. Yeah. Okay. Second case. Now this is going to be easy because we organized our work, so we're going to go through the same work. We're just going to do it for angle B on the other side. So now angle B is going to be obtuse. And I kind of showed you how I'm going to find angle B from that picture. All I'm going to do to find angle B, like if I did this again, it's still going to give me a cute answer. So all I need to do now to find angle B is just take it away from 180, because it's supplementary. So right here, we're just going to take 180 and subtract the first B, and that's going to give me my second B. So remember how we stored our B before? Now I don't have to go up, 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 up to try to find it. I can just on my calculator do 180, take away alpha B. There it is, 115.217. We have our B. And then from there, you're going to find your C, but you can't go off of this one. You have to go off the new B in the original A angle. So we'll just do the same work we did before. We take 180, take away 20.5, and then take away our new B, which I'll just use my A and S for that. I don't need to store it anymore. You could store it new if you wanted to. I'll do it on my calculator so you can see what I'm talking about. So now I'll do 180, take away 20.5 minus answer. We got 44.283 for the new C. And then the work that we did over here is going to be the exact same work that we do over here. They're the same work, except for C is now that value. So how I've already done the cross multiply, all I really have to do is think about typing this part in. I just have to use a different C. So you could either store it as C again, or you could just use ANS since that was the last thing we did. So I'm going to type in my calculator 12 sine answer divided by sine 20.5. And you get 23.924. Did I tell you, hanging behind? No? I didn't tell you, or you disagree? Well, I didn't make your homework too bad. I didn't make your homework too bad. Okay, we have one last little example. This one's really easy. This one's so easy and so wonderful. This is the area of an oblique triangle, so it's not a right triangle. The area of a triangle, if you know side angle side, super easy formula. You know the normal area of a triangle is a half base times height. Well, we don't know the height. The side has to make 90 degrees with the base, and there isn't one. So if you have SAS, you're going to use this formula instead. That says half. You're going to measure the two side lengths, so 52 meters multiplied by 90 meters. And you're going to multiply that by the sine of the given angle that is in between those two sides. So they gave you all these different formulas, all kinds of letters, which I think is more confusing. It's just half, multiply the sides together, multiply by the sine of the angle. And we're doing like all sines here. Type that in. And then what's the unit? Meters squared. See, I'm multiplying meters times meters. So meters squared. That's it. So your assignment I'm laying out is a worksheet. And I want to just show you the first question on the worksheet. So you have an idea. I'm not going to overload you with homework here. So the first question is a lot like a lot of the questions. It says, for triangle ABC, and they give you some information. Then it says, find all possible angle B's to the nearest degree. So I'm not asking you to find all the missing pieces. Just asking you to find all measured angle B's to the nearest degree. That means you have to determine if there is one, or if there's two, or maybe there's none. So what value do you need to find first? The H, and then you use that chart. And then if there's one, then just find it. If there's two, find both. If there's none, write a triangle. Okay? And then on the back, there's a couple more questions like that. And then there's some of those area formulas, which are really easy. I'll probably give you those really easy first.